Alright, what's up? We're back with more Red Dead Confessions. This has been a long time since I've done this one. I didn't realize that we have so many more to do. But, yeah, I probably should have put all these in a separate thing before, but... Alright, so we're going through, like, this old Tumblr thing. If you haven't seen the other ones, we're basically just going through, like, this old Tumblr thing of kind of the reactions and stuff of what people thought at the time. Like, as you can see, it's, like, 13 years ago, so... These are all really old posts, so... Alright, let's get started. I'd stand in the middle of town, mashing the B button, just to hear John say howdy ma'am and morning sir, morning mister. Doing it in Mexico is even funner. Yeah, I always like that little detail in the game that they added that you can, like, talk to people or that people would talk to you. Like, I've even had that too, like, where, like, I was just standing around in town and people were, talking and greeting me and stuff, which I think was a very nice detail for them to add. And, like, they didn't have to add that, but that's the one thing I liked about the game, is the little details like that. John and Abigail are meant to be. Bonnie is better off alone. I don't know. I kind of disagree with that a little bit. I mean, I guess in retrospect, with the context of Red Dead 2, I guess that makes sense, but I don't know. I always felt that John and Bonnie had, like, way more chemistry than him and Abigail. But I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion, but from what I could see, playing the game multiple times, it always felt like John and Bonnie just felt more natural to me. But anyway. Alright, every time I see John Marston die, I cry and my boyfriend laughs at me. He's a cruel boyfriend, I'm kidding, but yeah, I mean, it made everyone, sad or cry, which is such an amazing, not amazing thing that he died, but just amazing that a game can make you feel that, almost like a movie would. But yeah, I just think that that's amazing. And that's kind of why, like, when I played Red Dead, I think most people who played RDR1 first would agree with me that playing RDR2, like, you knew Arthur was going to die. You knew he was going to die or go to jail. So to me, Arthur's death was not as sad because I was kind of expecting it. But I don't know, maybe for the people who were just playing RDR2, it was probably a surprise to them. But for me, I was kind of expecting that. Why can't the unicorn be as badass as the fourth horse of the apocalypse? That is pretty... I like that. That's a nice little, like, that's a nice little picture thing. So you had the unicorn with the butterfly. I might actually save... I might, like, crop this quote out, but I might actually save that, actually. Here, I'll do it right now. I'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. Save it right now. I'll make that into a wallpaper later. When I first played Undead Nightmare and encountered zombies in Blackwater, I panicked and ran around, the 10 of them chasing me for like 5 minutes. Yeah, I remember, like, I was gonna... Not panicked, but I remember I was just like, oh my god, what do I do? And yeah, I was kind of like running around like that too. And then that one, you have limited ammo, which I like too, which makes it almost harder in that you really have to make your shots count. So I like that detail on Dead Nightmare. When I saw that Wiz Stickens got arrested in Blackwater, I laughed out loud. I always loved, like, his, like, mannerisms. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, when he's, like, walking, like, at the end of a scene, when he's, like, walking away and he's, like, sauntering off and, like, and he's just, like, just, like... He doesn't know what to do, and his mannerisms always cracked me up.
Come, let's finish the loading and we'll discuss it as we drive.
I'm surprised, like, there was no mention of him in Red Dead 2 or anything, but I would like to, like, see him, either see him or have a mention of him in, like, another game if they make one. But yeah, Wes Dickens always cracked me up with his little mannerisms. At the end of The Last Enemy That Shall Be Destroyed, when John was shot, I honestly thought I failed the level because I couldn't shoot all the lawmen in time. I was so sad when I found out John had to die. I was the same thing. I thought I failed it too. I was like, this is impossible. And I went back and I tried it with different guns, and same thing. It just didn't work, So, yeah, I had that same kind of reaction too. Not that I'm trying to rush through, but I definitely want to try to get more of them done in this video. But there's no way I'm going to get them all done. There's so many. This one, it doesn't say anything, but I just love manly hugs. Oh my god. It always bugged me that despite John being an illiterate farmer... Well, that's not true because he could read. He could read, so I think this post is a little bit wrong, but despite being an illiterate farmer, John used the words like reticence. That's not entirely true because he was able to read, because remember, like, he gets... a telegram from Bonnie, and then Abigail has him read it to her because she can't read. So he can read, and he, obviously, like, Dutch and all, taught him how to read. That's why he uses big words like reticence or implore. So he does know how to read. So I think this post is a little bit wrong. But anyway, Landon Ricketts is awesome. But I honestly wish his role in the game had been filled by Red Harlow. That would have been interesting as well. I mean, a lot of people, the theory was that Uncle was Red Harlow, which I always thought was ridiculous. But it would be interesting, like, to have some kind of character that was in both games. Now, they're kind of more mentioned, but it's more like a folklore kind of tale. Like they're more like kind of like legends. Whether they existed or not is like debated in the world of Red Dead Redemption, as I interpret it, because it's more like campfire stories and stuff like that you kind of hear the stuff about Red Dead Revolver. But I think that would have been interesting to have Red Harlow in the game, replacing Landon Ricketts. But I like Landon Ricketts. He's his own thing, and I like that. So I like to roleplay as different evil characters each time I play. One day I could be the Dynamite Killer, another day Fire Bottle Bandit, another day the Notorious Woman Lassoer, another day the Mysterious Man in White, Black. Each character, my horse, is also given an identity. That's pretty cool, though, that people actually like. I don't really do that when I play. I'm more just like play it normally, but that would be interesting to like do that kind of. But I'm not really into like the whole role playing scene. If they ever were to make a movie of Red Dead, I would want Charles Monsieur to play John Marston with Rob Wiedoff's voice dubbing over everything. Let me see. Who does that look? I don't even know if I've even heard that name. Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, he doesn't quite look like John in my opinion, but he looks almost like too, how do I word this? Like too clean. Like John looks like he has like, some dirt, some grit on him, but this guy, he looks like kind of like too clean in my opinion. I hate playing Mexico. I love Landon Ricketts, but but god damn it, I hate Mexico. I don't hate Mexico, but it's definitely my least favorite, I would say, out of the game for multiple reasons. First reason is it doesn't really matter what your choices are in Mexico. So like you can either help the bandits or the rebeldes, but it doesn't matter because ultimately you're going to help the rebeldes no matter what. I kind of wish, like looking back, that they would have had it where you can either work with the army or the rebeldes, but like it's like a distinct two-way path. I wish that they would have added that because it's almost like it doesn't really matter what you do. And it's almost, another thing I don't like about Mexico is it's like the same missions repeating again. Like there's like 3 or 4 train missions I remember where you're like on a train, or you have to stop a train, or you have to protect the train as it travels all the way across the country, and you have to go all the way back to do another one. So I think that's what part I don't like, and that's why it feels so long, because every mission, literally, you're traversing across the whole entire Providence or whatever. And I would say the third one is what was the third reason? Oh, that everything's too far apart. So like you kind of have like Chuparosa, which is like the middle of it, but a lot of the Rebelde missions, they're kind of like scattered like throughout the outskirts of the map, and then you have all the soldier missions or the government missions all the way in Escalera. So it's like, yeah, it's just too. I think that's the thing I don't like about it, is it's like it's too far. It didn't feel like that there was enough like variety, because like when you're in the New Austin part, or even the West Elizabeth part, there's a lot of different kind of varieties in the missions that you're being given. Like where you're in New Austin, like you can do some Bonnie ones, you can do some Marshall Johnson, you can do Irish, you can do Seth, you can do Nigel West Dickens, and it feels like you're doing something different. Whereas with Mexico, it kind of more felt like you're doing the same thing again and again and again. I wish that there would have been a little bit more variety in the missions in Mexico, but that's just my opinion. All right, I love Jack just as much as I love John. Jack isn't just like his dad. It's up to you to make him a good or a bad guy. Yeah, that's true. I guess like he's kind of a clean slate, more or less, but even though he kills Edgar Ross, which could set him on the path of being an outlaw, but I guess I could see that. Yeah. Alright, Red Dead Redemption made my love of horses infinitely stronger. I can't thank this game enough for escorting me back to the equestrian world. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, there's all kinds of different things about like horse breeds and stuff I didn't even know before this game, and yeah, it's real interesting, like the amount of detail they put into the different breeds and their speed, and yeah, and even that you have some horses that are like mangy or that are like way skinnier than other horses and aren't healthy. So I like that detail as well. The first one's about Jack getting laid, so that's good. I felt that after John died, Jack should have been able to sleep with the bar girls. After all, he isn't married. And it's just like a prostitute looking off into the distance. I think that's Tesoro Azul, yeah. She's just looking off in the distance. I don't even know where this picture... I don't know, maybe it's like from like one of the game releases or something. I've never seen that picture. But yeah, I always thought that was interesting too. Like, in any other Rockstar game you could sleep around with girls, but for some reason in Red Dead you couldn't. Even as Jack, I always thought that didn't make sense. It's like, Jack, he's a grown man, you know, like he should be able to do what he wants, but yeah, I always thought that was weird too, like they didn't allow that. I don't know why, especially in the Wild West, you would think that would be more common than in GTA, but who knows. I played this entire game with my grandmother by my side. She found it great that I love to go hunt and skin things for hours on end. She still jokes about how I need to go get my knife every time I leave her house. And that's one thing I mentioned, I think, in another one, where I feel like that this game kind of bridged the gap a little bit between generations, because like I'm sure like his grandmother's generation, this guy, you know, who posting it, that their generation, they grew up watching westerns and stuff like that, and then our generation kind of got into it. I mean, probably through movies and stuff, but like through this game was a gateway for a lot of people as well, and it kind of allowed the two generations to connect, like I said before. So I think that's interesting. And now even with Red Dead 2, you have more people wanting to connect to the Wild West and stuff, which is always good in my opinion. I recently bought the new edition of the newspaper. It was the one that states Landon Ricketts was passing to sleep. I took a moment of silence in his honor. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go. And that kind of reminds me of what he said. It's so funny. I play this game so many times, I know a lot of the lines by heart. That he says, I think when he first meets John, he says, oh, or what is it? I forgot how it goes. Like John's like, oh, well, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I'm just, you know, just waiting, just biding my time. And what I think he meant though is that he was basically waiting to die. That he was going to do all he could to help Chuparosa, help the people of the town, and then while he's just waiting to die, you know. That's what I think that he meant by that. But
I was the fastest in my time. I must have been. I'm the only one left.
What are you doing here?
Living quietly. Waiting.
For what?
I don't know.
Before playing Red Dead, I'd never once pictured myself having a family or wanting children in the future. But seeing John and his wife and son gave me the faith for the first time. It made me realize how happy I could be with my own family one day. Or with a family of my own one day. That's pretty interesting. I guess I could see that too. I mean, obviously, like, having a family isn't for everybody. Obviously, you want to make sure that it's within your financial reach or whatever. But it's not everything, but yeah, I mean, I always thought that too. Like, I mean, I always kind of wanted to even before Red Dead, but as things continue to get more and more expensive, I'm heavily debating having a family. Not kidding, but I mean, at this rate, I'm more like, if it happens, great. If not, whatever, you know. All right, Nigel West Dickens is my favorite character in the entire game. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that before. I wouldn't say he's my favorite. He's definitely up there for me. Like I said, his mannerisms always made me laugh, and yeah, it's just funny. He was just funny. I hope we see more of him in the future. I'm planning on working on a horse farm this summer just so I can dress like John and talk like him. Oh my god. I've actually never ridden a horse. That would be interesting to ride a horse. I think it would be kind of scary too, because how high they are. I feel like I'd fall off as soon as I get on. I laughed so hard when John freaked McDougal out by telling him he was going to hand him over to Dutch and his boys. Oh yeah, I remember that scene. Yeah, that was fun. That's one thing, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I just feel like the writing in the first game was better. Like, it had serious moments, but also had like funny moments. It had like dry moments, had sarcastic moments. I don't know. I just feel like I just like the writing of the first game better. But I'm sure I'm a minority in that opinion. I always duel Ross with the high power pistol. I think it's ironic that he would get killed by the gun. Ugh, I can't talk. That he would get killed by the gun that he gave to John. I more use the Mauser because I think that one has the most amount of bullets, and I shoot him in the head so much that his head looks like a smashed pizza or something like that. Like, just like craters of red and stuff everywhere. So that's the gun I use. But I think that's an interesting concept. Alright, Red Dead Redemption is honestly my favorite game of all time. Ooh, that's a toughie. I wouldn't. Oh, that's tough. Oh man, would I say it's my favorite of all time? Ooh, I don't know. Because like with me, I like to split it by the generation. So I would say definitely out of the 360 generation, definitely yes. But then like comparing it to some of my favorite games for the PS2 or the PS1 or the Super Nintendo, it's tough because they're all like such different games. I don't know. I'm gonna do a cop out and just say for the 360 generation, Red Dead Redemption is my favorite. So I spent most of the game trying not to kill animals, even though I shot down some of those random hunters or guys that challenge you to shoot birds. So when Professor McDougal freaked out and started to yell to shoot the bear, I froze up, didn't help him kill it. Afterwards, a little bit of me was proud of myself because Nasas got mad at the professor and not at me. I wish there was a way to calm the professor down before he kills the bear, though. Does he shoot the bear? I thought that Nastas killed it because like he was like forced to, because the bear got pissed off. I don't remember McDougal ever shooting the bear. Maybe, I don't know. I might have to. I need to replay. I always replay it like around once a year. I don't remember him shooting the bear though. That's interesting. Oh god, another John simping one. John isn't handsome, but I'd love to be with him because he's a real man. Okay. I have no comment on that, and you are entitled to your opinion. Alright, I was in Mexico and just killed a bunch of banditos and was ready to ride away. So I called on my horse and see my beautiful steed ride towards me, and I noticed that he was going over the railway. I was traumatized when the train hit him and he exploded. I stared at that same spot for at least 15 minutes. I always love that too, like whenever the horses get hit by a train, they just like spontaneously combust. Like there's like no like part of them, you know, that are gone or whatever. It's like they just immediately explode. Yeah, I always thought that was funny too. It's been a while since I beat the game, and I'm still upset about John's death and how quickly he was avenged. It felt like it was way too quickly, and there was no real feeling into Jack getting his revenge for his father's death. It was just go to his wife, now go to Mexico, now kill him. Okay, you're done. I was so angry over that. I mean, like, what else would you want them to do, though? Like, he already, like, I don't know. I don't even know how else you could even add to that. Because then it's almost like that would be like almost like a separate game. I feel like if you wanted it to be like a way longer process, then that would be like another game almost. Or maybe, I think that they just wanted it to be complete, and they didn't want to draw it out anymore. Like, and it's like I said, like I wish that they would have taken like a mission or two out of Mexico and put it into either West Elizabeth or even just as Jack. Because, I mean, it did feel quick, but it's like, what else could they do at that point, you know? Without having it feel, like, really drawn out. I can never beat Bonnie in that horse race in the beginning of the game. Even now, I can't. Yeah, she definitely cheats in that game. Or in that horse race. Like, I think her horse is, like, faster by default. It almost reminds me of, like, those certain missions in, Grand Theft Auto. Like, their car would be, like, faster. For some reason, like, it would give them a boost. And then immediately after the mission, if you drive that same car, it's not as fast. And I think it's the same thing with this. I think they kind of give her horse like an artificial boost. So I think that's why. Because there's times where I've lost that race and I've had to do it again a few times too. Cows. Fuck cow herding. And it's kind of funny because I don't know when I'll release. Well, I'll be on vacation by the time that this is released. It'll either be before or after this, but that's like a song I made up, like from Outlaws to Cows, and it always cracks me because like it's like showing a vicious outlaw scene, and then it goes to immediately to cows, just cows walking. Yeah, and it's so funny because I'm able to get footage for the music video. I basically was able to have it. I only had to repeat the cows one time. They were all different footage of cows throughout the whole game. Like how many cattle missions are there? Because there's the first one where you're rounding them up. There's one where you have to go get them out in the storm. Those two are Bonnies. There's one where you have to get them. I guess the cattle rushers got them in Pike's Basins. That's 3. There's none in Mexico you have to do. There's one where you buy cows from Bonnie and you have to herd them back. and I think one at the ranch. So I think there's like 5 or 6 cow missions, no lie. It can be a little bit annoying, that mechanic of it, but I mean, cattle ranching was a big thing at that time. It was a livelihood for a lot of people, so at least it's, you know, realistic there. Oh my god, that's his name, really? Is that... Hold on, is that really his name? That's not his name. There's no way that's his name. That's his name? Oh my god. His name is Quique. Quique Montemayor. What the hell? What does his wiki... We're going on a field trip. What does his wiki say? Montemayor is a young man, employee of Captain Vicente de Santa. As a waiter in Escalera in Colonel Allende's mansion, it is heavily implied that Montemayor shared a sexual relationship with De Santa, as seen as their interactions with, in cutscenes and dialogue between John Marston. That's funny. Trivia, Quique. I didn't... That's a form of Enrique. I didn't realize that. Javier Bracamonte. Who the hell is that? Who is Javier Bracamontes? I have never... What the hell? I've never heard of this guy. Okay, we're just going down a weird rabbit hole, and I don't know what's going on, but... Anyway. Quique Montemayor is my favorite character. I'm totally serious. Why? I always wondered, like, when they animated him pouring the water or whatever he was pouring for John and Captain De Santa, why did they, like... It always just is funny, like, how over the top, like, how he, like, pours the water, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, are you thirsty? Like, kind of like...
Do terrible things.
Kind of like that, I don't know, it's like, kind of like trying to seduce John. Look at how he's looking at John right there. Look at him, John's like, oh god, and he's like looking away. Look at, John's eye vision is here, and Quique is like, oh... Sexy cowboy man. Would you like some water? This desert is real hot, don't you think? Okay, I'm gonna stop. I will stop right there. Oh man. I didn't realize that was his name though, Quique. Yeah, almost 15 years of playing that game, playing this game, and I didn't know that he was named Quique. Oh god, another more John Simpson coming up. Alright, here we go. Oh, this is interesting. I recently took a trip to Colorado. When I was out in the woods, I kept hearing the sounds of the bears and cougars from Red Dead Redemption echoing around in my head. It made me feel really paranoid. And that's the interesting thing is, like, I would say that, obviously, like, I live in Colorado, for a lot of you guys that don't know. I would say that Colorado is like a combination of tall trees and West Elizabeth. Like, the eastern part of Colorado is kind of like West Elizabeth, kind of very plainsy. And then, like, the western part is, like, all mountains. So it's, like, very much like tall trees. And that's kind of why, like, I like tall trees as well, because it just reminds me of here. And a lot of the mountains do look like that there. Except I wish there would have been, like, more aspen trees in the game. But, yes. And no, it does not snow all year round in the mountains. Just in case you're wondering. This game shows it snowing all the time. South Park does, too. It doesn't snow all year round. Just in case you were curious. Alright. I never got emotionally attached to the game. I never got emotionally attached to the game until I saw John die. Really? Why so late? Why so late would you get attached to the game? Cougars. The ninjas of the American West. That's a perfect picture there. I almost want to save that one too. If any of these are like cool ones, I'll save them. Yeah, they are. You literally, sometimes you could hear them growl very faintly. But most of the time, they will just strike with no warning. I really like Leigh Johnson. He was such an honest character and would never have betrayed John. Yeah, he was just a real... yeah, he was just like a real straight-up character, and I think that he was nice. It'd be cool to have him in another game as well. Because of my terrible fear of thunder, I have to pause the game during a storm. Then I feel bad about it, because the fact that you're adventuring during a storm is most exciting. I never had that fear of thunder or anything. I actually kind of like storms. To me, they actually kind of sound relaxing. But I guess to this person, it doesn't, you know, it makes them scared or whatever. But I'm sure it's probably like, it's weird. Like, if you have like a bad memory, even like with something like relatively safe, like it could totally like make you afraid of it. So I wonder if that's like what happened with this person. Here we go, another John simping. We need like a bingo card for this, like if it's like either talking about John's death or a John simping one. I bet John Marston is fantastic in bed. Well, we will never know. I throw TNT at snakes just to see them fly. It sounds like a sounds like something a redneck would say. I'll throw TNT at snakes just to see them fly, to see them son of bitches fly. Yeah, but I thought they explode. I don't even know. Oh no, that's with the buffalo rifle. I think that they explode. I would shoot bunnies with the buffalo rifle too. It started out crack, but now I ship... What? It started out crack, but now I ship shaky and Irish, and I'm not even sorry. What does this mean? I started out crack, or it started out crack. I don't know, and I do not wish to know. Believe it or not, my most favorite game to play in RDR is Liar's Dice. Most people... Really? A lot of people hate it, but I rock at the game. I was mad that they didn't bring it in RDR 2. I like that game. It's kind of like bullshit. It's like the card game Bullshit. And if any of you have ever played it, I like that game. I like Liar's Dice. I don't know why they didn't have it in the second one. Maybe because like it was only in Mexico that you could play it. Or maybe... No, you could play in Thieves Landing too. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't have it. New Austin just seems so lonely after John died. New Austin? I wonder why they would feel like New Austin made him seem lonely. Now, I could see maybe like Beecher's Hope or like West Elizabeth kind of feeling lonely, but I don't know about New Austin. But I mean, I just think New Austin and even certain parts of like Hennigan's Stead or Gaptooth Breach just feel lonely in general because like everything is so spaced apart. And that's another thing I kind of liked about RDR1 is like I feel like they really captured the loneliness of that time as well. Like the Old West is like a very fascinating time, but I would never want to live there. Like it seems like it would be a horrible time to live it. Like you could die from drinking bad water, you can piss the wrong person off, an animal can attack you, like there's all kinds of things that could go wrong. And a lot of the times, like especially if you're traveling a lot, like you're alone, you know? So yeah, I think that they captured that really well. I never understood why most hated Jack. He was a great character, a quiet boy who used to read and dream of being a writer, who all that he cared about was taken in by death in less than 5 years. Not sure about who he was, never sure about who he was, blaming his father, but also crossing his father's killer to avenge him 3 years later. Yet no one else seems to see him this way. Yeah, I think when I was younger, I didn't like him as much, but as I've grown older, I've given Jack more grace, because yeah, Abigail didn't die too long after. I think it was like 3 years? 4 years after John? Yeah, so it's like within 5 years, he lost both of his parents, and his whole world like fell, crashing down. So I've definitely given Jack a little bit more grace as I've gotten older. I wish the character in RDR1 had more detailed facial expressions. I feel like John would walk around looking tired. What the fuck have I gotten myself into? Jesus Christ type of facial expression. And Jack would walk around looking sarcastic or like he's surrounded by morons. Yeah, I think that's just more of the limitations at the time. Like, could you imagine if it had like the detailed facial expressions of LA Noire? Like you could be able to even express even more, But I think it's okay, but I could kind of see like what they're saying. Like John kind of looks like he just has an over it kind of face, like I'm sick of this shit. Which I wouldn't blame him. Like after all the crap he's been through in this game, like I'd be tired of it too, honestly, but Seth and Irish could be brothers. They're both crazy in their own way. I don't know. I think that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, Irish is just a drunk. I don't think he's crazy. I think he's just a drunk. He's got wet brain. And Seth is just crazy. So, okay, here we go. I think this is our first Abigail simp post. Okay. I usually don't find video game characters attractive, but I thought the underwear that Abigail Marston wears in Undead Nightmares is the sexiest underwear I've ever seen. Yeah. I mean, I would have to agree, even though I would say Abigail isn't my favorite female character, or not. Well, not my favorite. How should I wear this? She's not my most attractive female character in the game, but yeah, I will agree. She does look well in the underwear, pajamas, or whatever the hell she's wearing. But I don't think I've seen this picture either. That's a cool picture. When I came to the last Sasquatch, I felt really bad after he told me what I had done. So instead of leaving him there alone, I sent him to his family as fast and as painlessly as possible. So you killed him. You killed the last one, you son of a bitch. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I think I just kill him too as well. It's funny like how the Sasquatch has become a meme within the Red Dead community. An actual Jack post. I had a dream that I was married to Jack and had a daughter named Dakota. I loved it. I don't think I've ever dreamed of, as much as I've played the game and stuff, I don't think I've ever dreamed about it. It's kind of weird, but when I'm in a suspiciously quiet place and John says something doesn't feel right here, it shits me up. What does that even mean? Even though I know nothing will actually happen. I do like that detail as well. Like if he goes to like an abandoned area, like Riley's charged, or a few areas like just around the map, and he'll say, "Oh, this don't feel right," or like, "What happened here?" I like that detail as well. Alright, I think this may be our last page. Try to do this for around an hour. Oh boy, here we go. I always hated Reyes, just because of Luisa. She gave him her soul, her heart, and her life, but he still thought her name was Laura. I hope that in the newspaper that it said he would have died. Fucking son of a bitch. Yeah, that is... He was the fuckboy of the early 1900s, so... Yeah, I always thought that was messed up too, and that like she basically died for nothing. I mean, she did help like with the revolution, but like odds are like she probably would have been forgotten, like no mention of her name and stuff. So it's like she essentially died for nothing, and he could not be bothered to give a shit. He's already fucking the next whore that will open her legs for him. So yeah, and basically he ended up, if you look in the newspaper, he basically ended up becoming the same, if not as more of a dictator as Ignacio Sanchez. So yeah, it's like he basically was not much better. Alright, the Cattleman revolver was my weapon of choice because it's the gun you started with the game with. I imagine that it was John's personal gun that he used when he rode in Dutch's gang. I hate the Cattleman revolver. That one is like the crappiest revolver. The repeater carbine I don't like either. It's like a BB gun. Like it takes 4 or 5 shots to kill people, especially in multiplayer. I don't like that gun at all, really. But yeah, I disagree with this heavily. I would say the Lamat is my personal one, weapon of choice, or the Schofield. But yeah, the Cattleman sucks. I'm worried about the future of Western games. Red Dead Redemption was so good it might scare other developers from making games in a genre that has little territory in the gaming world. That is... I would say actually that's kind of true. Because think about it, after this game, it was what, Red Dead 2 and no other... There may have been like some Call of Juarez, but no one ever like really took those games seriously. But that's the only kind of like Western I can think of. I guess, well, you could kind of count Fallout, but kind of not. Fallout New Vegas. I don't know. I mean, I feel like this post is kind of right, because like there's not really a lot of Western games. A lot of, even right now, it's like they're not really making a lot of them. The last one was Red Dead 2, and that was like, what, 7 years ago? Yeah, 7 years ago? So it's like, I don't know. I just think, maybe they're like, oh, no one cares about Westerns, so maybe it doesn't sell big money. So that could be another reason why, too. Which is a shame, because there should be more like Western or like historical games. I think that it's a highly untapped market. I mean, you have Assassin's Creed on it, obviously, but like I'm talking like other games making stuff too. There should not have been an option to kill Edgar Ross and just shoot the gun out of his hand, and then Jack says, "I'm not my father." I think that's kind of lame. I think he has to die. Like, he's done so much evil. He's done, not only killing John, but I'm sure he did this with other outlaws at the time, getting people to do his dirty work so he gets promoted and looks like he's this efficient law officer when he's really not. So yeah, I disagree. I think Edgar Ross deserved to die. So when John fell to his grave, when John fell to his grave, I couldn't stop my eyes from drowning with tears. I think Jack is adorable both as an adult and a teenager, but I really prefer playing as John. I restarted the game again to hear John's sexy voice. Here we go, John's simp post and face. Now I'll never complete the game up to his last mission. I would do that too. Like, I would always go up to the last mission and, like, you know, just do whatever, but I wouldn't go past the last mission. So yeah, I would do the same thing. Oh, this is interesting. I hated killing Dutch's gang. Oh, I hated killing Dutch's gang. I'm native and love the way that native renegades in those days fought for their land. Oh, and fuck McDougal. I agree. I kind of didn't like that either. The game kind of forces you to do it, but it's more kind of inconsequential to what's going on in the story. It's not like you're like, oh, well, we got to get rid of these savages and we got to get, you know, at least it's not like that. I always kind of hated that in Westerns where they don't really do it as much anymore, but especially like the older ones, like they would do that, like, oh, we need to stop these savages, they are impeding our progress. It's like, no, that's such like a one-way thing of looking at it. And don't get me wrong, like I think that, and I'm not saying that the natives, you know, are completely innocent either, but all I'm saying is like, it's just such like a simplistic like view of like, oh, well, you know, they're in our way of progress, and well, like what's progress to them isn't the same as what's progress to you. Like, that's something that people say is like, oh, well, how come native culture never advanced? Well, because what they were doing was working. They never felt a need to advance it anymore. And there was plenty of them that were advanced, like the Aztecs. They were the equivalent of like the Roman Empire, basically. And they were very advanced in like irrigation and engineering and math and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. That's a little rant I have. But I kind of don't like them. People are like, oh, well, you know, why didn't they ever adapt? Well, because they never needed to. What they were doing was working, so... Okay, Agent Archer annoyed me. Even though he was only Ross's yes man, I think Jack should have gone after him too. Maybe he would have if he knew about him. I don't know, I feel like Archer was kind of more... Not that he liked John, I don't think that that's the case. I think he more was just like... Because I don't think he was even in... I'm gonna have to rewatch it. I don't think he was in that whole confrontation at the end of the game. So my theory and my hypothesis was that he kind of like bowed out. Like he was like, okay, this is too much. Like we already had this guy do our dirty work for us. We already captured his family. I'm not doing this too. Because I don't think he was there. So maybe because he like refused to do it, he lost his job or something. That's my guess. Because I don't think he was there. I don't remember him being there. I'll have to double check, but I don't think that he was there in that. And then this is the perfect one to end with. Fucking cougars. That is all. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, the cougars are evil. They're the spawn of Satan, and they're evil creatures. So I think, yeah, we did like what, 4 or 5 pages. I just want to take a preview at the next ones. Oh god, more Jack simping. Comparing outfits. Falling in love. What is that? What is... I doubt this even works. Oh, it still works! Red Dead Roleplay. It got like no, what is this? That's sad. Like, this person, like, really took the time to make this website. It's still running. And, like, no one has been on here. Character creation, claiming, and storage. Announcements, plots, and classified. What are the rules? Jack's forced absence. On the forum, on roleplay. All recurred 200 or 300 as minimum. You're allowed 3 chances. No power play. What? No god mode, no metagaming. What the hell? This guy's like gatekeeping on what you can do and can't do. Let's do like what the character things are. I'm sorry, like we're on this like little field trip. I had no idea about this site. Characters that have been claimed. Character claim, Dutch Vanderland. Radish Son, Dutch Vanderland. Speculated lyrics level average. English is my native language and I enjoy writing. That's interesting, huh? Well, we may have to check out this website as well. But, yeah, anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Red Dead Confessions. It was pretty interesting going through more posts. And I will see you next time.